Hey there, old school gamers. Welcome back to Grumpy Old GMs, and today we're doing part 2 of one of our reviews of free and pay what you want products. This particular product is a free product, although there is a print version that you can pay for. I looked at it, I think it's about $12 or something if you want to get the print version. I will be investing in the print version because I like this product a lot, as you'll be able to tell from my review. So this is part 2 of the review. Part 1 of the review was basically explaining about the whole concept of the one-page dungeon compendiums from Shattered Pike Press and from Spiel Knights. The one-page dungeon compendium started out under, it comes out every year, it's an annual thing, started out under Shattered Pike Press and is being continued under Spiel Knights. It's not clear to me whether that's the same company with a new name or whether that's a different company, but I talked about that last time. So this time I want to specifically get into the 2010 volume. I have the 2010 through 2022 volumes, so I have 12 of these volumes, and the 2010 volume I just keep coming back to over and over and over and over again. It's the first one that I opened on my computer to use. It's the PDFs that are free. The print versions you got to pay for, but I'm a nerd, so I started looking at them in order. So I started with 2010 first, and I've read all of them, and they're all good. None of them suck. I like them all, but I just use the 2010 one the most. I just keep coming back to it again and again and again. So kind of like with wine, you might say, that was a very good year. I think 2010 was a very good year for the one-page dungeon compendium. So let's talk a little bit about why. So, there were 62 entries in the 2010 volume of the one-page dungeon compendium, and depending on what you like, I mean, obviously, we all have different tastes, we all like different things, we all get our dopamine hits differently from this game, but there's just stuff in here that I've used several times. If you are into cross-genre type things, like the classic idea of Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, where there was a crashed spaceship that crashed into your more fantasy D&D type world. There is a beautiful take on this by Stuart Robertson called Dungeon from a Different Star. I've had a lot of fun with that one, and so have my players. There are non-D&D things here because it's not required. Now, in 2010, 5th edition wasn't even a gleam in Watsy's eye back then. So these adventures are, obviously they were written for, they've got some stat blocks and stuff in them, but they're easily adjustable for whatever you're running. If you're running Pathfinder, if you're running any of the editions of D&D, if you're running any kind of fantasy game, Fantasy Savage Worlds, OSE, whatever you like to run, you can adjust this for any fantasy world. There are a few adventures that are not for fantasy worlds, if you're interested in that. There is a adventure for a post-apocalyptic world. Could be a zombie apocalypse type world. Could be a gamma world. Could be anything like that. But the adventure is called Gas and Die, and it's basically about a convenience store that the party finds out in the desert in a post-apocalyptic setting. So it's not just D&D, although type worlds, although mostly it is that. But there's something there for everybody. Another one that I like very much is a Den of Villainy. Let me make sure I give credit who wrote Gas and Die. Gas and Die was written by, let's see here. Gas and Die was written by James D. Jarvis back in 2010, or submitted for the 2010 contest. Another one I like very much, by Antti Hulkkonen, is Den of Villainy, which is the sequel to one that they submitted for the 2009 volume, which I don't have because the ones that start on drivethrurpg.com start at 2010, but I was able to find it on the internet. So I got the prequel, as it were, as well. Antti Hulkkonen has something from their campaign that is basically like a knockoff of coffee. It's a drink called Arndt's Old Peculiar, and you can tell from the context and everything that it's coffee. It comes from beans that come from some, South American type part of that particular, D&D fantasy world. And it's a cute little send up or satire on how our modern society is addicted to coffee. Another one that I like very much by Heron Pryor, Trolls Will Be Trolls. A lot has been done in the most recent editions of D&D with an idea that trolls are genetically malleable and that trolls can produce all kinds of weird crossbreed trolls. Well, in Trolls Will Be Trolls, there's a troll queen who decided to do something with that idea personally. So she sought out all sorts of sires for her offspring, minotaurs and demons and ettins and giants, and so there are some very interesting variations on trolls in that adventure. So if you are into that sort of thing, surprising your players with non-stock, non-standard monsters or whatever. Why is the troll blue? Well, yeah, the troll is blue because that's a foreshadowing of what it's about to do to you. But but yeah, there were 62 of them. I cannot go into them all, or it would be a whole series just to review this one thing. But I love them. I may be reviewing some more of these to come because they are free products. Than just the 2010 volume. But we'll start with the 2010 volume for now. And I already have something picked out for my next review of free or pay what you want products. Actually, the next several. So I'm kind of backed up on video ideas. But I highly recommend, and the PDF version is free. I use it so much that I plan to buy the print version as well. The 2010 volume of the one-page Dungeon Compendium. And you will be able to find a link to it down below. In the meantime, if you like or use our content, below you can hang out with us on Discord with a link. You can find our games and game with us. Tuesdays are full right now. There's no room on our Tuesday table, but we game just about every day something. So we could find a table for you. Tonight, this is Friday, March 10th. We are starting an otaku-flavored 5e D&D table. Or if 5e isn't your thing, if you're into OSR, Wednesday nights there's room at our Old School Essentials table, where we had 2 characters die last Wednesday, and it was glorious. I don't know, John. Maybe you shouldn't have said that. Maybe that's not a promotional thing. Maybe that'll turn people off. But if you're not into OSR, you got plenty of 5e. So, and then there's a Patreon down below as well, where you can get personal coaching on your inner DM, how to handle specific questions about your players, what you're trying to do with your campaign, instead of just me sort of teaching generally to the whole internet here. We can specifically focus on you with a Patreon membership. In the meantime, I will see you around the gaming table.